Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Sam and I are very happy to have with us the head football coach at CHS. How you doing, Brian Lynch?
I'm doing good.
Good. Sam, you guys were at the football game.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah, you were both there. So
yeah, it was a warm night. It was pushed back an hour, which I think was a good thing because by the second half things had cooled down some, and they didn't have to take those extra breaks and were able to play football. But I don't know, Coach. Maybe it might have been better if we started at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't think it mattered. You know what I mean? It was still hot. I didn't really notice that it had cooled down much, but maybe I was too hot under the collar or something to realize that.
A game that Spartan started out, I thought played well and took a lead into the locker room at halftime, 20-14, and Franklin County kind of came to life in the second half, and just we talked about it during the game and after the game. Way too many penalties.
Yeah, penalties and turnovers. I know that gets old talking about it, but that's what it comes to. But we had a great game plan, I think, and I think that shows that we came out and executed. We gave up another block punt, which has been our nemesis the last couple of years. That gave them the one touchdown on like the 2-yard line. But I thought we had a good game plan. We basically, I think, ran out of gas in the second half, and they made the plays at the end that they needed to. So, we came out there and almost tied it 28-26, and missed a 2-point conversion, and then gave a big play that kind of deflated the whole place.
The two teams, though, real rivalry, doesn't matter the sport. And Wildcats came to play. They wanted that keg back, that water keg back that we play for. Yeah,
we enjoyed having that, and I got to take that to the Kiwanis last year, and our kids enjoyed that. And I really wanted to, there's not a time on there where we had it consecutive years. I thought that'd be something we could work towards as a goal. But they wanted it. They wanted it bad. They play hard. They got a good program, traditional program. And like you said, it doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, football, soccer. There's no love lost there, and it's going to be a good game.
And the kids, because we are so close and play them in so many sports, when you got multi-sport out, they know those kids.
Yeah. I mean, we do the scouting report and all that, but we don't do a lot with the individuals because they know each other. A lot of them are friends on social media and that type of thing. So.
Sure.
Yeah, it's very familiar. I thought our coaches were very prepared for that game. I think Franklin County made a lot of good adjustments in the second half to pull that out. They lost their starting quarterback, coach's son, first week at Newcastle. So, like I told Coach Gilman, I tip my hat to him for going through the adversity, coming out there, and getting knocked down a little bit there in the first half and coming back and beating us late.
Yeah, that quarterback took over. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty good athlete. I think they maybe used him as a wide receiver before. He's only a sophomore. We were able to bottle him up, but they started getting that run game up the middle, inside zone, second half. And so we made an adjustment to stop that, which allowed him to fake the inside zone and keep it around the corner, which is kind of option play in today's era.
Fran?
TV3 was at the ball game at Spartan Field Friday night, and we have some footage from TV3's coverage, so let's check that out right now. The game between Franklin County and the Spartans at Spartan Field.
Always a lot of excitement when they come running out through the smoke. Spartans they're scored first and missed the extra point, and we talked about that could come back and haunt, and it did.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that I'd say 9 times out of 10 in practice he's going to hit that. But we run it in again, and just a lot of excitement there, and big crowd. Number 4, as you call him.
Yeah, that's Foe right there. You gave him a blade of grass, and he'll take it.
He's quick.
Yes.
He's quick, but what a workhorse at 140 pounds.
He's quick and he's tough. He carried it 33 times Friday night for 239 yards.
Yeah, he's a man.
It's great top end speed. I tell him all the time, I want to see that 100-meter champ. You just saw it right there. He tucked his head coming through that end zone like it was the track meet. There's that inside zone they started getting second half.
Good camera work by the TV3 guys here. Did a terrific job.
Yeah, it's interesting for me as a coach to see your guys' film because you get a lot of different angles and you get the replay and you get the close-ups. And I get to see how my kids are acting on the sideline, which isn't always what I want to see, but it's nice that you guys have that and you provide that for the community.
Yeah, it's hard to watch the guys on the field and the guys behind you as well, I'm sure. Spartan's
Right
big
here,
and,
going for two to tie this.
This was the difference in the game right here.
He's really close to being in there. We don't have that angle, but it looked to me like he was close.
I watched it a while ago with John in his office, and when he slows it down, you could see that we all thought he was in there, but the film shows it when it's in slow motion that he was not in. The body was, but he didn't get the ball.
Yeah,
on.
he kind of turned his body sideways.
Mm-hmm. But final 35-26 in a game that I think was closer than that.
Yeah, definitely. It was a seesaw battle, like you said there. And I go back when I watched the film, 21-20. We're driving, and we're 4th and a half a yard, and we run our quarterback sneak, and we're not all set. So we get a legal procedure penalty, back us up. We get stalled, and they scored. Mm-hmm. Other than that, we were always one ahead of them or staying ahead of them. You know, at that point, like you said, the extra point is something we focus on a lot. You know, we use a soccer player and we use our JV guys as the line. And they ran a stunt, and everybody's supposed to protect inside. And one of our guys, you know, stepped outside and gave him a lane to kick it, because if not, that's a chip shot for Nolan. And we're 28-28 going into that game right there to late 5 minutes and 2 timeouts left.
But it takes everybody out there. It takes that line to, as you said, but and you can't really get on the kicker on Nolan. I mean,
well, you can.
You can, but
I learned that doesn't work.
But it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
There are maybe times for that and times not.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with him, he does a great job, and Nolan's probably one, in all the years I've been here, he's probably one of the most committed kickers to us. In that he come over after practice, and he comes extra, and he'll text me, and he works at his craft, and you know, he's done a good job for us. So
he doesn't want to miss them, and he doesn't want
to miss them. And actually, we were going to go for a field goal there in the first quarter there, and we ended up going for it and getting the touchdown. But we feel confident if we get down inside the 20 that he can make it. So you're going to see us do that more than going, you know, trying 4th and 8 from the 12 or something like that. You're going to see us take the 3 points and go back and kick off again.
It's those kids that play both sports at the same time, the other football and real football, that your guys play. Now I'm gonna make somebody mad with that. But
it's football, the other one, right?
Good dedication. I mean, tremendous dedication from those young men that do that.
Nolan would love to play both, if you know they'd let him. But I understand he's a really good soccer player. Maybe play at the collegiate level. And Coach Bottomley's great. He works with us. And we also have a freshman that's coming up the ranks, Nolan Matney. So I got Nolan and Nolan. So I can yell Nolan at both kickers will come flying. But we have a great relationship with the soccer program, John Reynolds and Mike and they share them with us. And then after the season, we use Nolan a little bit. You know, he's he's one of my top athletes, speed and all that. So when his season's over, he'll play some defensive back and maybe a receiver role aside from kicking. So
Those those guys do a good job. Those coaches are good coaches and look out for the best for those kids.
yeah,
as well.
they got a solid program too. So it makes it hard for me to recruit athletes that have been playing soccer their whole life and they want to play football, and it's in between the two, you know what I mean? I wish there was a happy medium, but it's really hard for them. Like, they play through the week a lot. So for them to get reps for us and be fair to the other kids that we have that are just playing football, it's kind of tough.
One other thing about the other night when the lights went out, looked like we were on the move.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen that play finish.
Oh, yeah. We saw it, and we drew it up at halftime where we were tossing that sweep out to Micah, and the 11 people in Franklin County and everybody in the whole stadium knew where it was going. So we faked that toss, and Trot ran right down the middle of the field. There was nobody near him, and the lights went out. So it was interesting. Funny story is Coach Paxton's sister was watching the game on TV and stuff, and he was talking to her after the game, and she said, "I really like that light show you guys did there in the second half. You know, that's cool." And so, you know, it was funny. What I was, you know, sometimes I'll sit back and kind of look around, you know, and try to take things in. I don't always get to. But it was funny how as soon as the lights went out, all those kids flashed their cell phones, and it was like we were at, you know, Ruoff Music Center or something.
Yeah, it's funny with the cell phones now. Back in my day, we flicked our Bic.
Yeah. You guys get in trouble too. They'd be looking up. Sam's got a lighter. What's he got a lighter for?
Yeah.
No, but luckily we were able to score on that drive, because that was going to be really bad. That we had that place set up. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say it hurt us. You know what I mean? But it took the element of surprise for us to be able to do it again later. You know, it's one of those things where you get it one time, and we played it right at the time we think, and that happened. It's just.
Save that for this weekend.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can't see him. Maybe they don't see him before it flashes out on the film.
Yeah.
Greensburg comes in Friday night, 0-2, so the Pirates, I suppose, will be ready for the Spartans.
Yeah. They got a new coach. They've had the same coach for like 14, 15 years. And they have a new coach, Wes Anderson, from New Pal. And he's getting his program together. They play a really good team there last week with Greenfield Central, ranked 10th in 4A.
Shut out, I believe they were, they?
What's that?
They
shut them out.
Yes.
It was a pretty rough game for them. And they lost the opener, you know, but he's a good coach. He was actually at New Pal as special teams coach, so he's familiar with us and us playing them in the sectional championship last year. And they have a really nice running back who plays linebacker, a good size offensive line, and a quarterback that can throw the ball. So throw the records out. You know, we're all in this whole area that me and Sam talk about every Friday night, all of us in this area of the state, except for when you get to Dearborn County, they're a little notch above right now. We're all in the same playing field, so we got to minimize mistakes. We got no penalties, turnovers, know what we're doing, know the play, know the count. Just basic football is what we have to do and take care of things.
So that'll be your practice lineup for this week.
Excuse me?
Your practice lineup for this week.
Monday will be, that's a scouting report / conditioning. We try to condition them. We'll go out at 4 o'clock and condition, and we'll go in and we'll do the scouting report, defense, offense, and we'll go back out and condition again. And try to get them used to that halftime lull where they get in a game and then they sit for 15 minutes and they come back out. So we try to do that whenever we get a chance in a practice. And then Tuesday, Wednesday will be big days, you know, as far as time-wise. And then Thursday night pregame, 6 to 8. And then, of course, Friday night lights at 7. Our JV plays tonight at 6 o'clock with Franklin County. It was supposed to be at Franklin County, but their turf wasn't ready. So they asked if we could host, which makes my day because I help coach the JV too, and that's one less bus ride for me. my old back.
And yeah, get you home a little earlier maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. It might be a little bit cheaper though, because we like to feed them when they go on the road. So
Yeah.
we'll take care of that before they go. Coach Flanagan just fed them there at 3 o'clock while I was taping this episode.
Well, fellows that were in the Friday night ball game with Franklin County here, will they be in the JV game?
So the IHSA has like a matrix. If you play 4 quarters varsity, you have 0 eligible quarters.
Okay.
If you play 3 quarters, you can play 2 JV. If you play 2 quarters varsity, you can play 3 quarters JV. So the maximum's 5 quarters a week.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play all 4 quarters in varsity, you're not eligible. Special teams does not count. So my freshmen that are on that PAT, those don't count. Kickoff, punt, PAT, field goal, all that. That don't count as quarters. But guys who are in there playing like regular downs, those count as quarters.
Who keeps this straight for you?
We do that from our Huddle app. When we review the film on Saturdays, we have our players and we mark them off so we know who's
who
eligible
can play and who
to
can't.
play Monday.
Okay.
A lot of accounting there.
What's that?
A lot of accounting.
Yeah, there's a lot of accounting, and today I'm going to have 30 plus kids, 35 kids playing in this JV game today. So we'll split them a little bit more like offense, defense, so we get reps. But I have 21 freshmen, so it's important that we get these reps with these JV games.
Make them better and keep them interested.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I know you've heard me talk about it, but through the week they're playing the scout team. So like this week they're playing defense and offense using Greensburg's schemes. Then Friday night they're in the game on special teams or they're watching, and then Monday they play, or Saturday, this Saturday they play Greensburg. So they get that whole cycle of that opponent cycle, I call it, you know what I mean? And so, and we try to talk to them about that even when we're in the huddle, because a lot of times I'm the scout team quarterback and I'll talking about it, you know, see how this guard's pulling, look what they're doing here, you know, those kinds of things. So hopefully they're picking that up, and they are, you know, they're a great group of kids, and they would be even better group if we didn't have to use 3 of them on the varsity. We started 3 freshmen Friday night. So, you know, you take those 3 and throw them on this JV team, it'd be a pretty solid team.
You coach a JV team too?
I do. Brian Flanagan and Adam Keene, and then myself.
Okay.
So on Mondays, I give you the rundown with the scouting report and conditioning. If it's a road game, I'll get that going and I'll go on the bus with my JV guys. And it's important to, like I said, I think I do some things that are unconventional that you know, no offense to these other coaches, but at Warren Central, their coach is not going to get on the bus and go to a JV game on Monday. He's got enough people, all these programs built up and all that, but I'm building my program from the bottom up, you know what I mean? So I'm coaching varsity, I'm coaching Monday JV. If it's Saturday, Monday. I'm going to the middle school game, same thing. I'll leave a little bit early on Tuesday, Wednesday night. And then Saturday I get a lawn chair and watch my youth guys. This week I got to see all of them except for my first and second graders. But to me, you know, I've been here a lot, you know, we had great coaches. And the philosophy's been, if we build it up here, then it'll cascade down. Well, that's fine, and that works in some places. But here, I build it all the way up, and they're running our same plays. I know who their players are. Their coaches are sending me messages. Hey, did you see this? What do you think about that? Like, you know what I mean? We have a relationship with them.
And if you're at a game and you're out there on the field with them, those young guys see that and they know you're interested.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, I'm there to support them and be there for them. I'm not there just in like as a figurehead. You know, I mean, I'm there watching. Like, of course, my son, he coaches the 5th and 6th grade team, so I'm, you know, he's one of the assistants, and I'm into that game pretty deep. You know what I mean? I'll sit up in the bleachers or far away from him and let him do his thing. But you know, it's a good thing. I love doing it. It's my hobby, you know what I mean? And once again, Saturday morning, my coaches pick up the slack. Our defensive guys and offensive guys, they're meeting, they're going over the film and preparing for the next week, and I'm taking care of business with our youth. And I'll bring it up for Sam, since I know he kind of likes Spartan basketball. But there's a reason why we have a program, and it started a long time ago. But especially when Coach Malby was there, he knew every player from kindergarten to 12th grade. So did Kerry Brown. And, I was the only kindergartner in camp one year, and, Coach Malby knew who I was, and I remember that now as an older
As an adult,
man.
yeah.
Adult, okay. But, I know that does mean something, but he didn't do it just so that I would appreciate him. He was building his program, and they run that, and they're running that program from first grade to 12th grade. That's one of the reasons we're better than these teams in this area in basketball. They don't have that feeder program that we do, so we have to build that with football.
Here's the schedule for this week at CHS Sports. Let's take a look at, see what's coming up on Monday. The girls' golf team will be at Richmond. JV football, home with Franklin County, as we talked about. On Tuesday, the boys' tennis team will be home with Lawrenceburg. JV soccer will be home with LaPel. Volleyball team will be traveling to Newcastle. On Wednesday, the volleyball team will be at Union County. On Thursday, boys soccer will be at Wapahani. JV girls soccer will be at East Central. On Friday, football home with Greensburg. On Saturday, it's cross country invitational at East Central. The girls golf team will be hosting an invitational at CHS, and the boys soccer team will be in action at South Dearborn. Might take a look at how area teams are doing after 2 ball games. The Spartans, of course, are 1-1 on the season, losing to Franklin County by that 35-26 score on Friday night. Richville is 0-2, and they have a loss to Shelbyville 26-14 in their second ball game. Richmond is 0-2 after losing 49-7 to Eaton, Ohio. Cambridge City is 1-1. They won over Union County 26-24 in overtime. Union County, that puts them at 0-2 on the season. Centerville is 0-2 after, Centerville is 1-1. I'm sorry, Centerville is 2-0 after winning over Hagerstown 14-7. So that kind of brings us up to date on how some of the area teams are doing. So I know the Spartans would like to go to 2-1 following this week, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get too caught up in the records, but I mean, obviously it's kind of like stats. As a coach, you're not really worried about the stats. And as the record, you don't want to focus on the record because you don't want your kids to get too high and too low. But obviously we want to come home, you know what I mean, after that tough loss and play well and get a win and get the kids back in positive mode and let the community, get the cheerleaders and the cheer block and all that, going.
In sports, it's almost impossible to play without a mistake every so often, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fewest. It's the fewest.
The
fewest penalties, fewest turnovers.
The fewer turnovers wins, huh?
Control the controllables and minimize the things that happen. And just like in life, don't keep making the same mistake. Okay, you made a mistake, but fix it, and it doesn't happen again. And so that's what we focus on.
Have a perfect game this week, okay, Friday night?
Well, we'll try.
I know you will.
Last year we went down there and beat them in overtime. Of course, new coach, but a lot of those same players are back. I'm sure they're going to remember that. But, but our guys have to remember that as well, the excitement of that.
That was a great game, and their kids remember that. They led that whole game, and we tied it, and got a 2-point conversion to send it to overtime. And then we had the overtime session right in the end where our cheer block was at. And that's what I remember, is that our whole cheer block was in the end zone and we scored and all that. And they scored, but they had to go for 2, I think it was, and didn't get it. Tried to do a trick play, and that was a very memorable victory. A lot of the games that we won last year were sweet like that. We won it late, which is kind of what we want to begin with.
Those close games. One year can go the other way. It's just.
Well, you look at the Franklin County game. That's the exact opposite of last year. They jumped up on us. We scored late in the first half to make it a game. Then we scored and tied it and went ahead late. They did the exact opposite to us this year. So I want to take that personally. I take it personal, the fact that, we focus on our summer program and our conditioning and stuff, and I feel like with the weather and some of the things that's we've had going on in practice stuff, that we reallocated time so much to football instead of, conditioning and just the toughness part, because that's really what it takes late in the game there. You're talking about 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and having that mental, ability to have bad things happen and then be able to keep coming back as an optimist that good things are going to happen.
Put them behind them and go on to the next play.
Right, next play mentality.
Following this week, you go to South Dearborn and Rushville on 2 successive Fridays. So you got the work cut out for you.
Yeah, it's a long bus ride down to South Dearborn, and that's a hard place to win and play. But we look forward to that. Of all the games last year, that's probably the game that I would love to replay again. I felt like we had them at home and we were 3-0, and we had some mistakes there in the punt game.
Yes.
2 of them early that let them get ahead of us, and I'd really like to have that back. So, like Sam was saying, like our kids remember that. They're going to remember that. We're going to talk about that going into that game. Like we gave them a chance. We didn't give ourselves a chance to win that game last year. We don't want to do that again.
Over at Rushville, what are you expecting when we play in that rivalry?
Coach Slager is up-tempo team where they want to get to the line. They want to run as many plays as possible. They want to wear you out. And if they see you out of position or not ready, they'll snap the ball at any given time. They lost their quarterback. He's a pretty nice athlete. They had a really good running back. Like I said, I know their coach. We used to work together at Farm Bureau, so it's a friendly rivalry. We talked about that. There's rivalries and friendly rivalries, and Rushville seems to be more friendly a rivalry, and Franklin County seems to be less friendly, but still a rivalry in sports. But no, we look forward. That's a great game too. Like I'm saying, like taking it in as a coach and just looking around that field and the way the stands are and the way people pack up against the field, it's really close.
It is.
And so it's always neat like that, you know what I mean? So I got to watch my behavior and make sure I'm behaving. I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's the best of both worlds that everybody's right there, but they are right there. So if my kids blow a gasket or if we have something going on or I have to coach a kid, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of contact right there, but that's what we look forward to.
I had listened to the end of their broadcast when they played Shelbyville on Friday night, and it sounded to me like, listening to Rick, that they were improved in that game, and Coach Slager, of course, has taken his licks, and they'll get there eventually. So we're gonna have to play well when we go over there in a couple of weeks.
He's a smart guy, and he's a hustler. And we worked at Farm Bureau. He mowed grass, and he had a T-shirt business. Like, he's very much cut from the same cloth as me, and I respect him a lot and like him a lot. He'll have them ready. No doubt he'll have them ready. He's got Franklin County this weekend, so he's got his hands full too. He can't look to the Connersville Spartans yet. He's got fish to fry.
Right.
It's going to be an interesting season before it's over, Ryan. It looks like the Spartans are going to turn things around here quickly.
Well, we talk about being competitive and winning games late. We're not trying to outscore, just beat teams 60-7. So, and I think, I think a lot of people thought that going into this season. Well, we lost Gavin Pearson and Braxton Myers. We lost a lot of really good kids. Carter DeBoard, Gavin Pearson, Chance Bentley. There's too many to name, but. You see our program staying at the same level and the competitiveness and the toughness because we try to be so simple and we make it where our kids can read and react and play hard instead of thinking.
You lost a lot of good kids, but you got a lot of good kids playing right now.
Absolutely. The quality of the character in my locker room is excellent. And I have 17 seniors.
I know you're proud of your team.
Yes. Ryan,
thanks for joining us, and we hope to have you on again here after some big Spartan victories.
I'll be here.
Sports Report. And thanks again, and have a happy practice and a happy weekend.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Good night, everybody, and thanks for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3.